Hi, and welcome to the Healing You Method. I'm telling myself that I can't write, that I'm stupid, that I'm really dumb, and that I don't ever get it right. I don't know exactly what I'm asking, Gail, but it's like for me in that moment, like time just still.
That you don't want to totally walk away and because there was something there that you enjoyed about this person. Being conscious about what you're choosing to do as opposed to just going along a path of shoulds or must.
Hi, and welcome to the Healing You Method. I'm Gloria Lybecker, and I'm with my co-host, Gail Donahue. I had a really surprising day yesterday. I think many people did. But the thing that came and got my attention most was getting some feedback from somebody that does copywriting. And one of the patterns I have in my life, Gail, has been telling myself that I can't write, that I'm stupid, that I'm really dumb, and that I don't ever get it right. So this is a fundamental pattern that I'm really, really familiar with. And I've discovered how I can kind of do a workaround because what I'll do is I will record myself and then I can get a transcription, and when I can just speak, the words come.
Yeah.
Well, when I had a copywriter look at some of my marketing content, then I got some recommendations that then I'd need to go back and rewrite it. And what that did was it thunderstruck me. Yeah, I'm just wondering, I'd just like to model a little bit of what we do when we work with people. Can you just reflect what you heard there? And just, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Gloria, what I heard you saying is that yesterday you had the experience of really seeing a pattern that you is familiar to you and see it very clearly in what happened because you've had a belief or your pattern has been that you can't write, that you're not smart enough to be writing. And you've managed to work around that and put your work out into the world by different techniques, but you engaged with a copywriter and they were giving you some feedback. And they said that you suggested that you should rewrite some of your copy. And this, what I'm hearing is that this sent you like totally into withdrawal and closed shutting down. And then you could see that, oh, this was a familiar pattern that you do this. And
Yeah.
you have done this.
Thank you. Yeah, that's, I just want to acknowledge how supportive it is to have a connection like the connection we have, because it really allows there to be, for me, it kind of slows time down for me to actually recognize myself more clearly or to recognize the pattern at play with more precision. And there's something about that moment when when I withdrew, as you said. Um, I wonder if you could make a guess about what that inner experience was like.
Well, yeah. Are you you desiring like just a shared reality of what I'm guessing what it might feel like for you? Is that what
Yeah,
you're
so yeah, or I don't know exactly what I'm asking, Gail, but it's like for me in that moment, like time just stilled.
yeah, yeah. Do you need acknowledgement that you might have stopped breathing?
Oh yes. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. It was like almost like stepping into a mirror and disappearing
Stepping into a mirror and disappearing. Yeah. Sort of
backward. It was like a backward.
backwards.
Yeah.
Yeah, like kind of in movies that you see people pulling back
Mm,
and then they disappear. They just go minute.
fade out. Yeah.
Yeah, fade away.
Yeah, that's just so, and I feel my shoulders right now, they just relax, taking that,
Hmm.
just that acknowledgement. And it's just, yeah, so it's one of what Gabor Mate might call a hungry ghost
Yeah.
in the past of just that never really been acknowledged or held. And I'm just, I don't know, it's obvious to me that this is a pattern that's not just mine. that,
No.
that there's a lot of different kinds of patterns in our culture that gobble people up, that
Mhm.
keep them limited and in a tension that is really painful and lonely.
Yeah. And I also had very strong, perhaps, like to, because
Intense.
intense. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a pattern that like takes you right out. You disappear out of the picture.
Yeah. And so when that happened, I just stopped work.
Mm,
I realized my system was shutting down and that I needed to start attending to self-care.
yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
so even in doing that, I want to acknowledge how important it is to be willing to attend to self-care rather than just pressing on and buying into the shoulds and oughts that what I should do. And also I really like this copywriter and I very may well utilize him, but um, I've received lots of information from lots of different experts. And I encourage people, take your time to really tune into whether it's congruent for you to follow through with the suggestions you're given or the
Mhm.
expert advice. Trust your own inner knowing whether to take that action or to pivot and do something slightly different. And so when I've slowed down to do this, a part of this is talking with you. It's a part of my own self-care
Yeah.
to have that clarity, that inner knowing with a capital K, that what's going to be in the highest and best service for myself and for those that I serve.
Mhm.
I wonder, can you reflect that back and just
Well,
resonate?
yes, happy to. That I heard you saying that you came to see when you saw the pattern that you needed to use time, pause what you were doing, and rather than getting into the pattern of making, telling yourself, I need to do this, I should be doing this, and soldiering on, so to speak, that you decided to pivot and make a choice about self-care and looking after yourself. And and then you were speaking about the copywriter and that you enjoy this person. So yes, that makes sense that you don't want to totally walk away and because there was something there that you enjoyed about this person. And then I heard you say for all of us to really be slowing down, taking the time to connect with ourselves and really ask the question, is this in the highest good for me
Mhm.
in whatever it might be, working with this person or doing this activity, but coming back and uh, being conscious about what you're choosing to do as
Yeah.
opposed to just going along a path of shoulds or musts. Did I miss anything that you really want caught there?
No, no, thank you so much. Again, I'm feeling that it's like my back is relaxing. One of the things that my body will do for me is just hold tension, especially on the right side of my neck. And so it's like, oh, that's releasing. And so I just want to highlight how valuable resonance is as we're moving through life. We're not meant to soldier on all by ourselves. We're
True.
created for relationships, but the relationship within ourselves too, with our own spirit, that's where our inner wisdom resides. And yet to have some shared reality and resonance, it's just like, oh yeah, I'm not alone after all. And
Yeah.
the
So
important
important. That's so important that to have that accompaniment and not being alone with it. And it's not that other person, you're going to problem solve or fix it.
well,
It's just being with.
well, yeah, for both you and I believe I know that accompaniment is the embodiment of the resonance, which is empathetic, which is compassionate, which is the embodiment of kindness, of care. Allows our care circuitry to be fully available so that all of our circuitry can be in balance. And so a big part of the self-care for me then is to, when I step into my heart, to be honest about what I am here for. What lights me up? What is my calling, if you will? And when I step into that, it becomes obvious to me what my next action is to take. You want to reflect that last piece?
Yeah, what I heard you really saying that when you take the time to connect with yourself and do that piece of self-care, to really look at what it is that's important for you, for your highest good, it then becomes obvious
Hmm.
what your next step is and that you're going to take to do. And I imagine I just had an image that came to me of seeing you zoom back into the picture and be present with whatever it was that had the pulling away and the disappearing. But I just had this, ooh, seeing Gloria just come forward and fully present with all of her authenticity and her congruency and
Hmm.
taking action to do what you love and positively help others, which is a
Well, thank
beautiful
you.
thing to have in this world.
I love that. As you were describing the imagery that came to you, I had the imagery that was like me being in this room of mirrors, right? And yet each of those different reflections, they might reflect a different one of these patterns that I've, but like a fundamental pattern of belief systems that I was imprinted with in my lifetime. And that I don't need to make any of them wrong. I don't need to be in judgment of them. I can have compassion. I can extend that kindness and I can stand in my truth anyway. And I can write. It's how do I choose to write? And I can allow myself to receive support in whatever capacity it becomes obvious to me. And so I'm just really grateful, Gail, for your willingness to show up and be authentic and have a conversation with me. And because it's important that others know that this is possible to have these relationships of trust and that
Yeah.
there's resources that are available for all of us when we're willing to allow ourselves to be accompanied.
Yes, so true. Well, thank you, Gloria, because it's a gift that you give me
Mm.
every time we're together. So thank you so much. Till next time, I'll talk about some more interesting topics.
Thanks.